we could talk all day about having really cool marketing and these really,
Right.
great Facebook ads and all that. But really, that's where it comes down to, right? Like, can you find a product that you can sell at higher than what it takes for you to
That's right.
produce it, and then build your brand around it?
Well, that's exactly right. And that's for me why I am obsessed with the product itself. Like, every single detail of the product we have spent hours and hours on. And I'm really proud when you go to our page. We're a really young company, or this line of business is very young. We debuted in February or late January. And what I'm really proud of is we have a ton of reviews, and they're strangers. And they're all 5 stars. And for me, that, like, this goes back to that idea of when you have to give people an opportunity and a reason to say something about your brand, right? Like, it's business 101. If I'm expecting to not rely on flashy Facebook advertising and Google AdWords, although obviously we do those things, I'm principally relying on our customers to talk about us, because they're the most powerful salespeople that we have.
Yeah.
Like, being good at the product itself, making a great product that people want to talk about, that I want people to comment on it and say, wow, that's really good. That's really cool looking. Where did you get that? And then I want the person responding to talk for 5 minutes. I want them to talk about, whatever they want, whatever they come to the brand through. Oh, this is the most useful backpack I've ever had. It's the most versatile. It's made out of recycled materials. It's, way cheaper than like a luxury bag. Like it has all the, look at these 2 handles, and this is why they decided to do that. Like, every single element of the backpack we chose, not just because it's useful, but because it has a story. Every single one. And like that for me, I wanted to arm our customers with those stories. And that's, like you said, it's business 101. How do you get people to pay more than or pay for something and make sure that it that earns more money than it costs? And I think ultimately for us, that's the way we chose to do it.
One of the things you mentioned earlier on is what really struck me about how, you started this company with a very social cause behind it, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's fair to say that it's kind of what you said there, which is that people aren't really that willing to pay more for that. It's sort of like a side effect of the fact that you still have to build a great product. You still have to make it something people want. And it's sort of like, oh, by the way, it also does these things, which is awesome, right? But that it is fundamentally an oh, by the way kind of thing, right?
That's exactly right.
So I think hopefully it's like people listening to this, when there's so many great ideas coming out right now, especially in terms of building products. I don't think we've ever been in a time where there's been as much products and like solutions to different things. Like, weren't you just telling me before we started recording that there was a company that kept your coffee warm? Like, literally, we have so many products that it's still, anyone looking to start a business, you still need to solve a real problem. You still need to get someone to be willing to pay and like really connect with them. And then if that's able to solve like a more deeper societal issue, that's awesome. But no one's going to pay for that.
That's right. They won't. And anybody who starts a business that believes that is going to fail.
So hopefully we save some people a lot of time and money, because I absolutely want more entrepreneurs to really do what you're doing, right? Like, I think it's the future. I think it's like this kind of sort of conscientious capitalism, if you will. I just coined a term there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if the reason that we do it, and honestly, like, we talked about, should we be like early on? These are early on. We talk about being a nonprofit. Should we be a policy organization? Should we advocate on behalf of people? And ultimately what it came down to was like, we just believe that business solves problems the fastest.
Yes.
Like, it solves problems. It's just like, that's what it's designed to do, to solve problems. Like, yes, money is the byproduct of solving problems, right? And like, yes, you make as much money as you can, but the people who make the most money are the ones who solve the biggest and best problems. And sometimes those problems are like, small parts of our life, like keeping our coffee warm. And other times, they're massive parts of our life that change everything, like carrying around a little electronic box that tells us not only the time, but literally anything else we want to know. But like, ultimately, at the end of the day, people are looking for their lives to be a little easier. And I think if you focus on that, like all the time with an obsession, I think ultimately, to some degree or another, you're going to be successful.